right. Okay, let's also share here. There we go. All right. Thank you, customer happiness. I appreciate it. Okay, so I'm going to show you the same prompts in this. So this is Chat GPT. There is a paid version of it that allows you to integrate the Dolly 3. And Dolly 3 is an image generator just like Midjourney is. It has its other strengths versus Midjourney. For instance, if you tell it that you want words on something, I would say about 7 times out of 10, it will spell those words. If it's something complicated, it might mess it up and put an extra I in there or something to that degree. But I really like the simplicity of some of the graphics that come out of here because it can still look dynamic. It can still look like it's shaded, but it does some really, really clean, simpler illustrations, right? And it can do more complex illustrations too. It can do logos as well. So some of the same things that I put in there in the Midjourney server is also here. All right. And this is what I wanted to compare and show you. Like this one can actually put text on here. And even if you don't use this exact text, at least it gives you an understanding that I could show this to a customer as is. Like I really like this event planning logo. And I'm going to show you in a little bit how you can actually vectorize it and use it within a vector program like Illustrator. Am I going to show y'all Illustrator? No, I realize that that is not what I want to teach. I even struggle with Illustrator. However, I can show y'all what I do with a logo once it's in Illustrator. Okay, so these are some of the watercolor cartoon styles that I started with. I feel like those kind of gave the vision that I think many of you are wanting to see. And then you can tell that the prompt is exactly the same. It says that she's wearing a t-shirt that reads whatever words, and you can change the words. Okay. Um, I also did an anime style here, so you all can see that difference. I did a kawaii style, and they gave her like a kawaii rabbit mouth. So then I said, okay, give me full lips. I said, change the mouth to be more full, beautiful lips. What happens with Chat GPT is you have a conversation with Chat GPT. You don't necessarily have to be exact with the prompting. You just tell it, hey, I think I would like to see X, Y, and Z. When it spits it out to you, if you go here to the information, it is going to tell you the full description there. Okay. So I don't have to put in that big old description. I'm just telling it that, hey, I want a printer and a laptop and some t-shirts in the background. And it's going to basically pull the rest in. I really like how it did this cartoon one because it did give me a little bit of halftone in there, even though some of the parts doesn't have the halftoning, but that's fine. This one did the cartoon style without the halftone in the foreground. That one turned out really nice. And then I also brought it into the 3D animation. I think it did really well with that without having to really describe a certain type of character. All right, here's a Pixar style cartoon. That did extremely well. Okay. And then the reason why I didn't do this is our class per se is because it does have an issue sometimes with the server load. And it will just tell you like, hey, it can't do anything right now. Like, and you'll just be looking at it crazy for 23 minutes or 10 minutes or however long it wants you to sit out. So you'll notice that it did do that to me. And then I was trying to see, well, is it going to keep telling me that or what? So we kept going back and forth. We're tussling a little bit, and I gave it some time and came back. Okay, and then here's a 3D Pixar. So um, it's not going to give you, and I want to be safe about saying this because If you know it's licensed, then you know it's licensed, don't use it. But it's inside of here, it's going to protect you as much as possible from doing something that can be construed as like, hey, you know good and well that that's Ronald McDonald, and that's not what you're supposed to be printing and making money off of. So it does, and I actually tried it. So I'm going to show you that what I tried in a little bit, and tell you what it did for me. Now, here's the other thing I wanted to tell you all. Whenever you're prompting those cartoons, if you tell it to do a like I took that one and I said make it a logo style. Well, when it made it logo style, it cleaned up some of the background because it understands that a logo is not going to be a whole full square of image with the background. All right. And again, I told it to like make it a logo style within a circular frame. Came up with some of these things, which were nice, but you are going to have to work to upscale those, clean those up, and use this. Like if you want to use this one as an actual vector logo. Here's the sticker idea. So I was telling you sometimes if you tell it to give you a sticker, it will give you a clean representation of that character. So the same thing that we just did all in Midjourney is what we did just now right here. Same as that prompt, okay? All right. Awesome, awesome. AI vector site. Cool, David. Definitely share it. So Illustrator does AI right now as well. I'm not quite impressed with it. It did a couple of things. I'm not quite impressed with it. Yes, and it did. Now I will tell you, it has some issues too. Like she's got an extra arm across her stomach right there. There's going to be some issues with this too. It's not going to be perfect, but it definitely does, especially for cartoons. It does, for me, in my understanding, it does cartoons much better when it comes to hands, for sure. And even like the 3D hands here, they look much cleaner than a lot of the presentations on Midjourney for that purpose. But Midjourney is a bad one when it comes to, I'm talking about, and when I say bad, I mean like Michael Jackson bad, when it comes to developing your photographic and a lot of like out of the box creative thinking. So I still would use both of these. I still wouldn't say for the purpose of doing these cartoon logos for this style and for your vector style. I really, really, really like the Dolly 3. And I think I may have to review that. All right. I really like how clean that came out. I like how it understood that this is going to be used for a logo. So it did clean it up and break it down to where I feel like we would be able to at least contour cut that if we needed to, but definitely vector some of these. All right. So let's see if y'all have any questions about that. Tamika says, can this one do roller skates that actually look like roller skates? I get what you're saying because I think so. I think this one does better with feet and shoes as well. Because if I try to make Midjourney put certain type of footwear on models, it doesn't like when you try to force it. So let's see. Now, do you want a photo of roller skates or do you want more of the illustration style, Tamika? And this is how you get to it. So I'm on now. I have to do a new chat when I go to GPT-4. I'm going to go to DALL-E 3, just make sure that it's there. Yes, it is $20 a month, but I feel like that's worth it. Oh, this is what I was going to share before I get into the roller skates. I want to show you that inside of Chat GPT, I really tried. I said, create a big bird wearing a blue Letterman jacket 3D animation, right? I was like, okay, well, maybe it's confused on who Big Bird is. I was like, create a Sesame Street Big Bird wearing the blue Letterman jacket in 3D. And it says that creating images that directly represent copyrighted characters from media such as Sesame Street is not permitted. However, I can create a unique character inspired by the description you provided. Let's try this. Imagine a large, bright yellow bird character that has its own unique style, but gives a nod to the classic big bird archetype. It wears a striking blue Letterman jacket with white sleeves, sporting a large letter B on the chest. The character will be designed in 3D animation style, standing with a friendly demeanor against a backdrop that suggests an urban street setting instead of Sesame Street. How does that sound? So, what it did was it literally said, I'm not going to do that, but here is an alternative description. Are you okay with that? Right? Oh, you did the same thing. I don't see, Thomas. We was on the same page. We're trying to see, we're just testing out the big bird. We weren't trying to actually make a big bird. But if I come over here to Bing, first it kind of gave me that when I just put in big bird. But then I said big bird Sesame Street, and it let me go in, boy. That looked just like Big Bird. And he's blue, and then here's the yellow presentation of him. Right, right. It's almost like they setting up a trap for y'all. Just saying. It's linked to your Microsoft account for the most part. Just saying. Y'all, you want to be aware. Use a little burner email. Say your 3-year-old got an email and was going on there, make a Sesame Street if that's how you gonna rock with it. But my whole point is to show you that some of these things, just because you can't create it, you have to use discernment. You have to know when you're really going when you're going rogue, and when you can have to pay the price for that. So I know right now Grinch is really big. I ain't trying to put y'all on nothing right now, but hey, let's do wearing a Christmas sweater. What's your favorite J's? And Jordan, like 10s or whatever. I don't know. But it can read that kind of stuff. 9s. All right, David says 9s. All right. And the other thing is, this is very, very unpredictable as far as when it's going to have bandwidth and all of that. Even though you may have a VPN and all that, it's still. Now, if you are logged into your account, hence, if you log into your account, it I think does better as far as not timing you out, because it's recognizing you as one of their clients and not just somebody random off the web. So yeah. Anyhow. Like I said, this is definitely okay. So look at your big bird. Come on. And then he's still wearing like the Jordans. So that's the thing. Like, people are like, well, how do you get the sneakers? Well, if I had to get the sneakers and I was developing a character that wasn't a licensed character, right? So I'm not gonna do the Grinch, but I really like the shoes here. I would actually cut the shoes out and put them, like, if I'm doing this, especially for personal use, put them on a character that I'm creating if I created a 3D character, right? So I'm not saying that it doesn't have its use, but here, I'll take this same exact prompt, and then it will actually read the prompt. So let's click on this one right here. I'll take the same exact prompt and I'll put it in the chat GPT. And let's see what chat GPT tells me. So chat GPT, let's see. So it did give me the shoes. I'm excited about that. But I feel more comfortable if I were to make something right now. That's cute. I feel like I could put that on a shirt and I'm cool with that. I don't have to necessarily try to get Disney and Dr. Seuss or whoever else to try to take me down. But I feel like I could still rock something like that, and it would be substantial enough to get people's attention and get them excited, right? Um, I'm just saying. But it got the details of the shoes pretty good, right? And here's another thing, you can take this inside of Photoshop. Um, take the shoes off of this, put it on something else, clean, like actually clean up the image. Let's say this part of the shoe is clipped off. If you want to extend that image and see if it can replace that based on what's in the image, then that's what you use the different tools for. Oh, you don't like that one? Delete that. Oh no. But I want you all to understand that AI is supposed to help us imagine stuff. AI is supposed to help us create things that we can make money off of, create things that eventually can help us grow our business, not put us, at risk. However, I know, I'm just saying, I know y'all gonna do what you do, but I'm just saying, be extremely careful of what you post on Etsy. Be extremely careful of what you put on your stores so that you are not a target for people coming after you for infringement. Okay, so there's a way to use it inspirationally. You know how we always put like Spider-Man inspired. It's not Spider-Man inspired. It's like literally the whole Spider-Man on there. Like, how is it inspired? We know what we doing when we do that. So I'm just saying, just be careful out there, okay? So the link for Bing, you just go to Bing and I think you can do /create. Let me see if it gives me a specific because I'm logged in right now. So let me see if it'll let us do that. Let me see if this link works by itself. There it goes. So I'll put this in the chat. Now this is free too. So as long as you can use it, use it. I want to give you all that as a resource. Um, but you see, some people are creating stuff. Like I think they know not to put certain things on here. But you can hit start creating or create and put a prompt in up here. And if you're not logged in, I don't know if it'll prompt you to log in, but if you log in, the more you prompt, I think it keeps up with what you're doing and gives you points and stuff. I'm very impressed with this. I am extremely impressed with this. Yes, exactly. The Black Betty Boop on roller skates is and that Thomas, I would use that. The Black Betty Boop on roller skates. Although you use Betty Boop to describe her, that does not look like Betty Boop. So I would absolutely use that. Mhm. Right, right. And so what I'm going to be doing is going through and comparing. So there's Midjourney, there's Leonardo, there's I don't like to specifically say Bing because technically Bing, anything you create on Bing is supposedly not supposed to be able to be used commercially at all. So if you are, selling prints and selling apparel and that sort of thing, I just want you to be aware of that. Although it's some of the stuff like I would be like, okay, well, whose cat is that? Like, how you gonna tell me I can't use that cat? So I don't know if anybody is specifically going to be looking for it, but keep in mind all of these images are marked. Like literally, that's what AI is. It's marking different variations and iterations of artwork. So there is some tracking to it, just to give you an idea. Okay. All right. So what I want to do as far as our logos, I want to see what you all came up with. If you would screenshot or drop it in the chat, I want to see like who's going to need some help like cleaning up their logo. So I want to take something that we've done in class and I'm going to put y'all on this little shortcut here. So some of us are like, oh, I struggle with the font and like, how it should it be rounded or whatever the case is. So I'm going to give y'all this link here. And this is going to be like a powerful resource in order for you to just take the image that you already have and add some beautiful text to it. Make sure that it actually goes and it flows. Make sure some of you may want to put your logo inside of something like a circle or inside of something like this oval here with the, like this right here would be a cool one. I'll show y'all this one. Let's go ahead and use that design. Okay, and then I'm gonna take somebody's logo. Literally, Shauna, you put in the shoes that you wanted to see. You just put in the shoes and the colors. Let's see. Let me see what y'all posting. And then there's another. Let me give y'all this source too. Told you I was gonna find you a website. I'll put it in the chat here. Uh-oh, my Zoom's freezing. All right, so Montanious, I got you right there. I'm gonna download that one. Anybody had like any words that popped up on their logo that they need to take off, anything like that? And while I'm here too, while I'm here kind of showing you the difference, I did want to show you, that one looks good. So basically what I would do here, as far as a cutout, let me go quick selection here. I would grab her. And because I do want this area here, I think I would go ahead and grab my desk too, maybe even the screen. And I'm just using the quick select tool here. Just want a combination of some things here. All right, and then let me say I don't want this little part right here, and I don't want this little part right here. Zoom in a little bit. Make that brush a little bit smaller. And this red is very close to the background color, so it's being pretty selective there. This glow, I may want to bring that back, so I'm going to make sure I'm on my plus here. Now, this is just showing you some stuff you may have to get your hands a little dirty in Photoshop if you want to get into AI. It is not going to be perfect for you. All right, so next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to click on select a mask. Levi and Emma, y'all are not supposed to be talking right now. Y'all are supposed to be paying attention and participating in class. Thank you. Well, you're going to have to hold it. Right now, we're doing Photoshop. All right, so we're going to make sure these edges are as smooth as possible. So I'm going to hit smooth a little bit here. And let's say that I want to bring this into some kind of frame for the logo. And I want to definitely get rid of this little outline right here. Make my brush a little bit bigger. All right, so that is the core of what I want here. I'm gonna go ahead and hit OK, and I'm gonna create a layer mask. And for me, this may be something that you have popping out of a frame or something to that effect. So let's go ahead and put doo, doo, doo. Okay, Lynn, you need to take off words. So Lynn, place your image. I got you. I see it. Let me download that. So Lynn, I should have just saved it as your name. Whose image is this? Sid? Let me scroll back. Where's my mouse? There we are. All right, so that's spontaneous. All right, so file, save as. And I'm putting this in downloads. Here we go. And then I'm also going to go ahead and somebody needed some text removed. So I'm going to show you how to do that. All right, pretty simple. Now this should be upscaled. So any image that you really like, go ahead and upscale it. It will help you basically be able to use it in bigger projects. But we're going to roll with this as is. Actually, let me see if I can do a neural filter. And this isn't going to exactly upscale it, but it should clean it up a little bit. Let's see, let's remove the JPEG artifacts. And I don't, no, it didn't really, that one didn't really clean it up. Or actually it did. It did. When I turned it off, I thought it was turning it on. Let me go back. That actually did help out a little bit. Let's go filter, neural filters. This helps really with photos when you have photos that are real grainy that people send you and they need to be upscaled. You can do this same stuff here. I think what it was just taking some time to do the results. And it's doing it on a new layer. No, I don't like the result of that. So remember in Midjourney where it gave you the option to, what is the name of your image? I want to show you that. Lynn, this thing is super small. So I'm thinking that, oh, it is a screenshot too. So let's go to Midjourney. Lynn, what is your, what was in your prompt? Because I want to see it. I want to show you how to do the bigger version of it. And also, if you find your prompt, Lynn, you could tag me in it. So let's say, I don't know where it is. Oh, there it is. I just typed in hoodie. All right, so she's wearing a hoodie. I'm gonna jump to that one. And then when I jump to it, it'll take me here. Let's see. Oh, you've already upscaled it, but maybe it was a screenshot. So this was an upscale 4x. And then what happens is I should be able to, yeah, this is what I need. I just need it here. So then I have to go to open in browser to get the nice version of it. See how nice it is when I upscale it here? Save image as. So if you try to screenshot or save it from there, it's not going to be good quality. But I'm going to resave over this one, Lynn. And the reason why is because I don't want to clean it up and it's a bad version. Like I'd rather clean up your good version. Okay, so let's do that. Let's go ahead and open that up. And let me close out of the other lens because we don't need that one. There we go. All right, so here we want to use some type of selection tool. We could just use the lasso tool because it's pretty simple. We'll select the area that has the text. And then we're going to do generative fill. If you don't put anything there, more than likely it's just going to try to clean it up. And let that do what it does there. It'll give you some different variations, but I think the first one is just fine. What I do then is right click, merge down. Now she has a clean slate and you can put your logo on there, anything you want there. And same thing with like the text is here. If you want to clean that up, just tell it generative fill, clean that up. Now it also it tries to understand the style of the work that's there. So if you told it to put something in the image, it should typically understand that, hey, this is a cartoon illustration, so I'm not going to put a photo of something there. So let's just say like right here, that was pretty bad, but I'm trying to draw with this thing here. Let me redo that. And if you just put the word, let's say Tumblr, I don't even know if it recognizes the word Tumblr because we use the word Tumblr so much. Midjourney, I don't believe recognizes the word Tumblr yet. The Chat GPT and Dolly 3 does recognize the word Tumblr. So if you put Tumblr in, it will create a Tumblr for you. Okay, it made some kind of clear glass there. Gave me a glass of milk. Okay, and something maybe like some orange juice. But it did, you see, it did try to make it more in an illustrated style and not a photographic style. So just letting you know that you can use generative fill and AI inside of Photoshop as well. I also feel like I'm going to go back. If you do too much generative fill, it can kind of mess with your RAM. So I'm trying not to do too much. I feel like right here where this mouse is, it kind of cuts her finger off weird. You can kind of circle this area and don't put anything there. Just hit generative fill and generate. All right. And then it tried to help me here with the fingers. Photoshop is getting a little bit better, but Photoshop does crazy when it comes to extremities. Doesn't do that well. Okay. So more than likely, you're either going to end up really photoshopping your own images in there. And if I had to, I would borrow some fingers and kind of redo that. But if you're a true illustrator, you would go into Illustrator and you would remake that. Even the existing fingers aren't that great, but nobody's really going to be looking at that so much. But I definitely would say that that little finger right there would need to be cleaned up. I'm going to do Control C, Control V just to kind of copy and paste. You can do Control T to transform, right click, flip horizontal. She even has like different color polish on this hand. And it's not matching up exactly, but y'all. This beats having a cartoon something from scratch. I don't know if you've ever tried a cartoon from scratch, but it certainly beats that. All right, so now what I'm going to do is grab a little quick mask around here and just clean that up. I'm not going to delete anything. Let's select the inverse. So it had the outside meat selected. Now I'm selecting the inside meat, and then I'm going to create a layer mask here. And pretty much the goal there would be to blend that in, not to necessarily, the shadows are gonna be almost a little off there too. So, like I said, I don't know who's gonna be paying that close attention to it, but you definitely want to know these type of skills. I'm gonna go ahead and fade that off a little bit here. You see, I'm just fading it off there. Getting a little extra finger from underneath there. Use your pen tool. I know a lot of us are scared of the pen tool. I use that pen tool to follow along the path here. So I get a smooth cut out there. Turn that into a selection. 1 pixel there. All right. And even though I hit delete, it actually did not delete anything. What it's doing is it deletes, it either makes it white or black on that layer mask. So it shows or does not show. And then what I can focus on here is pretty much taking out this area here. And I'm going to create a new layer. If I want to fill it or I want to paint it in, which is paint bucket here, I hit Alt in order to pick up that color. We can just fill it straight in for right now. Or I should have, let me deselect, undo. I want to feather it a little bit before I fill it in, so it's not so hard. This isn't really a tutorial, y'all. This is just me showing you sometimes you can't just accept the work as it is. You will have to do some additional work for sure. And I'm just filling that in now. Okay, and then I can add my hand back there, bring it up on top, kind of decide what else I want to do here. Clean that up. If you really want to get in there clean. Now, I would have definitely upscaled this with my upscaler too. If you're using this as a logo, like t-shirt, love chest, that sort of thing, you're gonna be fine. But if you think that you're going to like blow this up and make it a banner or backdrop, something to that degree, you're going to need some help in upscaling it, making sure that's ready for that bigger print. Oh, I took off too much of that one. Excuse me, y'all. All right. Let me zoom out a little bit here. Then you got some smoothing and some blending you'll have to do here. See which direction it'd be best to try to heal it there. New layer. And then I'm gonna Alt click and well, make sure I'm on my paintbrush. Alt click, make sure I'm on there. And this is actually considered in painting. You're actually painting on it to get it to do what you want it to do. Y'all. You see I'm actually painting that there? And when you can see the pixels, it makes it a little more difficult. Now she already had that extra little weird finger there, so I'm gonna leave that alone because that was not my doing. But I did want to express to you all how y'all can kind of get in here and do some of this work. And see, it's so pixelated that if I do a clean cut, it's actually going to stand out. So I'll just do 1 pixel there. And even 1 pixel, I'm gonna take it back. When I do my selection, I'm actually gonna do 0.2 pixels because it's so pixelated that it's actually fading it with only 1 pixel. All right, then I can come back here, clean up my area and where I painted down here. Delete that layer mask because I did not mean to do that. What I want to do is create a fresh layer mask and then use black to hide the part of the paint where I painted over the edge of the desk there. All right, let me see, what am I missing here? Took a little too much off. Make that a little smaller. Black is going to conceal, white reveal, so I'm gonna reveal that underneath here. So yeah, I'm not gonna get too crazy with this, but I'm just letting y'all know that it's not gonna be perfect. There's gonna be some things you have to work on. There are gonna be some edits that you have to make. I'm gonna go ahead and save this one, Lynn. I don't know. It's saying that Etsy put a hold on y'all being able to rate until I think it said like the 10th. So we'll hold off and see. Mara said, y'all see Mickey pop up in my photo? Did it now? All right. I do want to take y'all over here for a moment too and show you the vector program. And then I also want to show you like how you would bring something like the logo that you did into here. That way you have, even if you have a cartoon logo, you still have a logo presentation. All right, so first, let me take y'all over to the vinyl vectorizer. I mean, not vinyl. I guess you could use it for vinyl, technically. Y'all know I don't do vinyl anymore, but if I did, I use Illustrator. But I don't want to assume that everybody wants to buy Illustrator or use Illustrator right now. So this is a free option. What I'm going to do is I'm going to bring in an image into here so you can see what I would recommend vectoring and what I would not. The image that we just did has so much shading, I would not recommend trying to vector that. Okay. And I'm going to show you something that does have a little shading where if we do vector it, what's going to happen to it. So I'm going to drag this image here. It has shading. It's supposed to be a cartoon, but vectoring it does not mean it's going to redraw magically your image and put outlines and all that good stuff on it. So you see it's taking a little while to process because it's trying to break down those gradients, okay? Now, this is a vectorized result. If you go to the palette there, you can see this one selected 70. There's 77 colors here. So you see if you zoom in, it has basically broken these up into pixels, and it's not very smooth. I think Illustrator does a better job with that. But if you had to break something down to minimum colors, this does that. Okay. I'll take this same image. I'm going to show y'all Illustrator, but I'm not going to teach y'all Illustrator because I'm telling you, it's not my jam. It is not. I'll show you the same way that it vectorizes in Illustrator. You have more control in Illustrator when you vectorize. And the only reason why you're going to need to vectorize, honestly, is if you plan on scaling this really big, or you eventually want to like cut it out of vinyl or screen print it. That would be another reason to vector it. And we talked about screen printing on Saturday. I'm going to give you another example while that's Illustrator is working on opening up. So Illustrator has this whole text to vector graphic too. I'm not too impressed with it quite yet, so I'm sure the algorithm's gonna get better, but right now, yeah, it's just okay. Okay. I don't know why I told this thing that I was gonna potentially do this. Later, later, dude. Let me go ahead and get a new image here. So like a 10 by 10. And I'm going to drop that same image here. Okay. And in Illustrator, it's called an image trace. So we're going to do image trace, and then I have some features here. Okay. So when I go to image trace and I have my options, I can tell it whether I want this to be color, grayscale, black and white. There's some presets here too. You could go with like a 16 color and it'll try to render that. But you see how much cleaner it's making those outlines? So even if I wanted this to be a one color, it's definitely making that a lot cleaner and easier. This one, that's the 16 color. If I go to advanced here, I can tell it whether I want a high number of paths, meaning that, it's going to get try to get super detailed to the original, but it might have a bunch of little jagged edges and a bunch of different, if you think of your cutter, the smoother the path, the lower the path. If you have to go in a lot of different detail and hear a lot of that, that's a high number of paths, a high number of nodes, a high number of occurrences where that blade has to move. So the same thing works here in Illustrator. You can also tell it whether you want corners less or more, meaning that do you want them to be rounded or more sharp. And then noise is how much the little details is going to pick up. If I put it all the way down, it's going to pick up every little detail. And then if I pull it up, it's going to ignore some stuff that maybe I don't want to cut out of vinyl, or maybe I don't want to have too many details. So if I bring the noise all the way up, it'll ignore a lot of detail. Okay, and this one must have a lot of noise in it. Let's see here. Anything else? For the number of colors, we can shift this here. So it says 16, but I can go higher, right? And it's giving me more detail there. Let me bring the noise down. And let me wait for it to finish. And then also you could do a high fidelity photo, which basically it'll take a photo and kind of vector it. So if you ever needed to blow a photo up to a billboard size, right? And think about this, a billboard, you do not see it from close up. But if you try to blow that image up, even my photographers in here, y'all know what I'm talking about. You try to blow that image up to bitmap that large, it's going to take forever to print because it's going to be a huge file. Well, you can vectorize it at a still a pretty big resolution, and then that way when you scale it super big for like a billboard or a huge backdrop, yes, it's going to have some of these broken down details, but if you tell it you want the maximum number of colors, the maximum number of paths, and it will give you a lot of this broken down detail, you will not be able to tell that it's been vectorized from that viewing angle. All right, so I'm letting it get extra detail right now, which probably shouldn't be doing this while I have Photoshop open too, and it's AI. But yeah, you see how detailed even like the little bitty pieces are now? If I broke this down right now and I hit that I want to expand this trace, it will now be completely vector. And it's taken a long time because it's really trying to figure out where all these gradients lie in a solid color. All right, so that's it. And then if I wanted to expand that, let's come down here and hit expand. And now all of that is technically vector now. And you'll see that the benefit of Illustrator versus that free vector program, the free vector program was taking all of those vectored occasions. And it was making them all square pixels. Illustrator is trying to create some organic shapes around the stuff. So even if it does vector it and it was never really intended to be vector, it looks more believable and it looks more organic. All right. I don't know. Is it still breaking it down? Let me let it take its time because it looks like it's still edge smoothing and everything. And make sure that I actually hit expand so I can show you the difference between the two vector files. All right. All right, so now I hit expand, and although it looks like it's kind of shaded pretty good, these are all individual shapes. That's what vectors are. Like if you were to cut this out of vinyl right now, there'd be a lot of vinyl to cut. All right, but I want to show you how this other program does that is free. Let's say before I had 77 colors on there. If you zoom in, it's going to make them more, you see the more square pixels? But even that would work for what some of you need to do. So when you have the shading and stuff, it's not good for vectoring. You have to build those kind of vectors from scratch, meaning that in Illustrator, you have to add gradients, and in Illustrator, that shadow that's on her eye would have to be a faux. It's not a real gradient, it's a faux gradient. It fades from one color to another. And it's not really, this is not going to be able to be a vectored fade off, okay? How do we say the upscale? Yours still looks small. You have to click on the image. You have to go to open in browser. And as you're printing your logo, this is what I'm saying. I want y'all to keep in mind, even if you are doing some type of 3D image, you want something that collects your logo together and makes it look complete. You don't want a square of something. You don't want something that just, even this by itself, would need like some words or something with it. Okay. So this is what we are going to be working with. So if this is, okay, so that would be my biz customs. And that's how easy you can, just like in Photoshop, how you can bring the text and layers above. I think mine is zoomed in a little bit. Here we go. Let me ungroup these. Bring that above. And I guess that texture is on there as well. You can even put a stroke on here. You can curve your text. So let's see some of the effects here. A drop shadow. I'm going to take that off with a stroke. Let's give it a stroke here. We'll just add the border weight there. Use the color that's in the image. I think we can use the color picker. Yep, let's grab that red. Let's take off that drop shadow effect. All right, so I'm not thrilled with that. It's a little too thick. There we go. And maybe this even the color back here, the background. You see where that is. I keep doing Control Plus like I'm in Photoshop. I need to be doing their zoom here. But if you could imagine in Photoshop, let me turn this texture off too, because it's bothering me right now. In Photoshop, it might be a little difficult to try to get all of these different elements, but you come to something like this website and it kind of gives you an idea of, okay, I can pop my image in there and we can just go. So here, I think I actually want to do the text color in the red, the border color in the black, and then change the image here. Logo mark. There it is. I keep trying to grab that thing. There it is. Nope, that's my logo. Let me just move that so I can get to this. Gotta ungroup all that stuff. There it is. Okay, so this, let's go ahead and let's make it black because she's already wearing red. And then that way, this looks more like a logo that's ready to go. And I can even copy that, paste it on top, and take the one underneath. Let's make it black. Increase the border weight. And just like you have to do in Canva, I really don't like, you know how in Photoshop we can do like multiple strokes, that sort of thing. You're not going to be able to do that in this program. It's almost like Canva, but it is meant to do things like t-shirt designs and somewhat, simple logos and that sort of thing. All right. We have drag this one below that one. And then you got a little something. You got a little something like a logo. All right. And then if you wanted to vector, this program has a vectorizer as well. What I'm going to do, I'm going to copy and paste. And I'll vectorize here. I could tell it that I want this to maybe have 6 colors. Let it vectorize. And what it's going to do is break that down just like Illustrator does. And of course, it's not going to look 3D anymore. Okay. And like I said, this one right here works better if you have a very, very simple image like this. That vectorized that one. It even vectorized this one. So it vectorized this from this in order to do a very simple 2-color screen print or 1-color screen print. But it is not going to be the impact that this 3D logo would have here. All right, so this is what we are going to be working on for Wednesday. So everybody is going to pick a template because I realize a lot of us, number one, either we don't have our logo, or number two, we have our logo. Maybe we had it developed by someone else, but we don't know how to kind of put these simple things together. And I can tell you right now, If you put this together for someone and then you put it on a digital business card, you could sell them, hey, I can design your digital business card, I can do your t-shirts, I can do your graphics on your glass for your business, I can do your promotional materials. You might even end up designing their social media stuff, right? Lynn, if your logo is just words, you probably want to find some imagery, but if your logo is just words, then here you go with this too. Just words, sure thing. Most of the logos here are just words. Let me give you an example. Let's see. One that I really like, a clean one right here. Pretty much just words. You can add an icon in there if you want to. And this is where I'm saying you could take simple icons and just still have a logo, still have a presence. It looks clean. A lot of upscale businesses use these type of logos. Okay. That's good. And Lynn, you can take your logo that you sent to me, vectorize it, and put it onto your character. Okay. So this is probably one of the toughest things that you're going to have to do, but it's one of the things that I realize we don't touch enough on. So it's going to be one of those tough things that that's going to help bring you out of that difficult area and take you to an area where now you can charge other businesses. Okay. So y'all told me y'all wanted to learn this kind of stuff. I know it may seem a little intimidating, and it is. But once you get into it, I think you'll realize it's a flow. It's a flow to it, and you can literally win a business over just because you know how to present an image to them and show them this mocked up. So after that's done, if you want to, we got too many things on this artboard. Let me zoom all the way out. And let's say I just want that stuff. I'm gonna control X all of that, delete everything else. Control V to bring it back. Control G to group it, just like in Photoshop, it's the same functions. And now you can even mock it up in this program on something. So before you even get with the customer, you could say, I have 3 things in mind that I want to go ahead and show this product on, right? Here we are. Moving a little slow there. And we can go mock that up. And we want to look for things that what is a business going to want to mock this up on? Yes, they may want a t-shirt. I think that's what we all should be looking to do is a t-shirt. But maybe they want a left chest. They're much more conservative for business. They'll go left chest on the front, and they don't want a big old left chest either. I'm telling you, your businesses like to keep it simple. A left chest, then maybe on the back, some information about the business, maybe their phone number, something to that extent. And then let's see, maybe you'll do some bags. I don't know if they have, let me see if they have signs here. Okay. So let's say they want to do a sign or something for their business. Now you can make their business look like something like they don't have a logo right now. They don't have anything on their glass. They have absolutely nothing. So it's not like you're trying to immediately, tell them that this is what their business is going to look like. But what happens sometimes is you don't envision it until you see it. So there it is as a sign. Let's see if they have glass. And you're just showing that to your customer. I don't see they don't have glass there. Let me put window. Mm, they do have walls, so you can kind of like mock up a mural or something. But we know how to mock stuff up in Photoshop. I'm just giving you some examples of things that you can immediately show for your customers. Okay. So it could be simple and clean. That's what businesses want. I want y'all to know that most businesses don't want the paint splashes and all of the chains and all this other stuff. I'm telling y'all because that's how I like to design. But when I design for businesses, they like simple, clean. It's going to be something that's easy to DTF. It's going to be something that's easy to screen print for some of you all, and it's going to be done, ready to go, clean. It takes you less time to do this than it takes you to design some of the intricate stuff we design. Okay. All right. So the glass door. I don't know if it had a glass door. Yeah, it didn't have a glass door. But you know how to mock that up real quick in Photoshop. Okay. All right. Oh yeah, and Flaw says good for the UVDTF. Is anybody into UVDTF yet? Anybody in the UVDTF? Or have you at least seen it? No? Anyone interested in it? Um, I don't know. I have the paid version of Kittle. As a matter of fact, I forgot to give y'all my little affiliate link if you do decide to do it. I think you can design in it because what I'm going to do is yeah, I think you can design it without having it. You just may not be able to like download the source file. So I want you all to use it and see it if it's something that you feel like you can use, but especially for quick t-shirt designs, y'all. Let me give you an example here. And I'm staying past time, like I'm staying way past time, y'all. We're supposed to be done like 9 o'clock. But I want you all to see the power of this. Especially if you already made your character. Like this right here is super popular right now. It says enjoy every moment, but it could be something like coffee and I run on coffee and I don't know. I don't like people playing with the word anxiety and stuff, but that's been a big thing lately. So, if you see an expression, create your own version of it and throw your own images in there. This is a screen print. This is an easy peasy screen print. Matter of fact, it could cost you as little as 15 cents to print to get these prints. I would say about 20 cents if you get 500 prints. It's about 40 cents if you get 40 cents per print if you get 100 of them. But for 40 cents a print, you're not weeding anything. You're literally printing and going. And these are all editable. Like you edit the text. Okay. Thank you, customer happiness. I appreciate that. Now the UV DTF. Oh Lord, y'all finna get me into that. Um, as a matter of fact, I know Flawless is the expert in all things DTF and UV DTF. As a matter of fact, he's helping me bring my life back to my printer that I let get messed up. But if you've seen those clear glasses and it looks like there is like a raised, almost like glossy sticker on there, it's not vinyl, it's more than likely the UVDTF. So that's how a lot of people are using that instead of sublimation. But it literally can create these permanent stickers that you can put on anything, like it sticks. So it's really popular right now for the Libby cups. And I'm positive. I'm trying to find more photos of it because you have to kind of see it, the photos of it, to see how glossy it looks, how it kind of looks like it has a little bit of a domed raised look to them. But basically it's DTF with UV. That's all. Is there anything that I'm missing on that, Anthony, Flawless? Is there anything I'm missing on the UV DTF versus regular? So regular DTF is usually going to be heat applied. The UV DTF is pressure sensitive, so you can stick it like a
Can I
stick.
unmute for a second?
Yeah, absolutely. Go ahead.
Okay. Okay. Well, really, you can your UV DTF is like what you're showing is the sticker part where you can
Mm-hmm.
put it pretty much on anything, but
Mm-hmm.
you can also print directly to anything,
Mm-hmm.
flat, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
It's a booming business too. So when I saw those cups, I was like, because it's so easy to go up there because you got to have special cups to do
Mm-hmm.
sublimation. Well,
Right.
on UV DTF, you don't have to have that. You can go literally to the dollar store and get a dollar mug and put
Right.
a sticker on it.
And here's the thing too, like so you have the machine, but people that don't have the machine, like you don't even have to have a heat press. You know how most of us feel like we got to have a mug press or a tumbler
Yeah.
press, or we have to have an oven. So because
No,
it's
no.
pressure sensitive, you can just stick it on the surface and it's permanent, right?
Yeah, yes, it's permanent. But when you first get started in UVDTF, it's like anything else. You got your trial and errors, and once
Right.
you figure out how to later, when you're doing a sticker version, which everybody loves that because you're able to put it on anything. Then
Right.
car, windows, whatever, cars, it don't make a difference. But when you're doing it that way, it's a certain way you have to put the actual the UV print down. Or if you're
Gotcha.
printing directly to it,
Hmm.
you print white CMYK, the same thing as DTF, it's just UV.
Got you. Okay,
Yeah.
well that sounds, look, y'all asking all these questions about this. Does it work on jeans? Okay, let's see. Tomorrow, Anthony, do you think we could set up a time where people can ask questions for that sort of
Yes,
thing?
yes. I'm free tomorrow, so that's perfect.
Okay, so what I will do, I will send y'all an email because it's getting late, and I was actually up to almost we were up to almost 2 o'clock in the morning trying to fix my printer. And we're almost there. I actually and this is the thing I want to tell y'all about that too. Because it is like I'm transparent about my mistakes as well. So I bought a DTF printer, did not do what I was supposed to do. And of course, I could have ruined my print head, but I don't think I did.
No,
I think it's good. It's just that my what is it? My
Captain
capping
Station.
station. So I have to replace my capping station. So y'all don't be like me. I will cherish sharing these stories with you all if it means that you all learn your lesson as well through me and not not have to pay the same tuition that I did. All right. So we'll talk about that too. So we're going to get into some DTF topics. And also, if y'all are interested in UV DTF, like learning about it and seeing how that process could be set up, um, like Anthony said, it's pretty much the same type of technology that you would use to print the same type of printer, but it's different ink, and you have to cure it with UV light. Correct?
Yes, it's cured by deep UV light.
Right. So there'll be some questions there, but yeah, Felicia said that's expensive to replace. Well, it ain't as expensive as the print head and some other things. So, but yeah, it is. Yes, it is. It's more expensive than it would have been to maintain my printer like I was supposed to.
She good though. We caught it in time. We caught it in time. Um, so she'll be up and rolling. The 7880 will be up and rolling. She's just waiting for a capping station.
Okay, that yeah, I'm waiting on it. Said it should be here Saturday, so we should be dancing once I see some prints coming out of the thing again. And then if you all have some questions about DTF, and can you make a post in the group and just say, like, introduce yourself and let them know that they can ask you questions about DTF. So then that way, when you go live, and they can ask the questions, you already have like a list of questions that they have.
Okay. Yes, I will.
They
I
have
will
you could
do
touch
that.
on. Okay.
And
All
just to throw it out there, because I know a lot of people get weary, but I
right.
do have a lot of knowledge. I've been doing this since probably day one, DTF. So just bring the questions if you have them. If I can't answer it, I'll figure it out.
Okay, that sounds like a plan then. All right, my loves. Well, it is that time. It is way past that time. This is what I want to see you all do for Wednesday. Okay. I want to make sure that you all have whatever your logo situation is together. Um, And it just let it be even if you're not doing a character logo, I want y'all to get the experience of doing a character logo. But I want you, remember we said every Monday, we're gonna come up with 3 more things other than that one thing that we're working on. So I want you to figure out 3 businesses. And I gave y'all some examples of some of the top businesses that spend money on themselves. Like, even if it's not a business, like teachers are not necessarily entrepreneurs, but they are careers that spend money on that. But what I want you to do is I want you to target actual businesses first. Teachers will always be a niche that you can work with. But you have right now people that are ready to spend money before the end of the year. They have to spend money. I'm telling y'all this strategy because so many people are worried about creating personalized gifts this season that they're going to miss this opportunity. I want to make sure that you all don't miss this opportunity. I want you to address businesses, help them spend money before the end of the year. If they spend the money before the end of the year, it's a tax write-off for them. So you can use this as a strategy to make sure that you are that basically you're helping them. By the beginning of the new year, they're going to have new merch. They're going to have new products. They're going to have new ways to represent for themselves. And you can also market it as Christmas gifts for their clients. So they can do customer appreciation gifts with their logo and their phone number on the back of them or whatever it is. And it's promotional items for them. They can write it off for the year. And this is going to be one of the easiest ways you get bulk orders before the end of the year. So I want everybody in here to at least have a $300 order. That's 30 screen printed shirts. And that's if you're doing one color shirts. You can have this DTF design right here. That same DTF print, that's probably is that maybe like 3 inches by 4 inches or something like that. That same logo could be the left chest for their shirts. It could go on the mugs. It can because you can put DTF on just about anything. Yes. You can put it on belts. You can put it on planners. Like if they want their own planners, put the DTF on the planners, on the books. And you can get these things inexpensive and brand these things for businesses. And I guarantee you'll get $1,000 order quicker with the business than you ever will with our typical clients. Okay. So that is going to be the goal. So this is not a typical template flip class. This is get the bag before the year is up. Okay. Target 3 businesses other than yourself. And I want to see you not only create something, but approach those businesses and grab those orders. Okay. All right. So we'll see what y'all do with it. We shall see. We shall see. I'll do a little bit more of telling you what I want you to complete in Wednesday class. But Wednesday class is we're workshopping these logos. We're workshopping what it takes to create for business. Okay. All right. So listen, I appreciate you all, and I love you dearly. Calm down. And my little fuzzy head nephew and niece about to come in here. And until next time, bye. Y'all take it easy. All right.